Just give me a moment. I'm starting the live stream as well. Sandeep, I'm just starting the live stream. Just give me a moment.
Sure.
All right. Just a moment. Okay, I'll share the link later as needed. Okay. So before I go into what exactly is inner child healing, I would like to explain the protocol of the session. Okay. Sandeep, is the volume of the voice clear?
Yes, it's good.
Okay, great. So the protocol of the session is pretty simple. The session is in English. The focus of the session is going to be on the group process and not any kind of Q&A or personal consultation. So I will not be able to speak in other languages than English. And if you have a question, the way we're going to deal with it is write it down in your notepad or your journal. Don't put it in the Zoom Q&A or the chat box. Wait for all the sessions to get over. And if after all the sessions, you still have a question, and indeed it is a burning question, then you can ask me the question. And that too, either on WhatsApp, you'll have to WhatsApp me if you have a question after that. Don't ask the question on Zoom because we are going to keep this for the group process. So now, let me tell you what has been my journey. Many people ask, what is the use of inner child healing? Even before what we go into, what is inner child healing? What is the benefit of doing inner child healing? Okay. So let me tell you my story. When I was 19 years old, I was diagnosed with a disease, an ailment called ankylosing spondylitis. Now, I was a very studious and very brainy child right from the beginning. But when I went for this internship and I could not even work there for 3 days, it was really heartbreaking for me. And the doctor's opinions also did not help in any way. The doctor's opinions were like, this is a very debilitating disease. People with this disease don't have a normal life. Life is going to be difficult for you, etc., etc. The opinions that I had were not really helpful. Okay. And so fast, and so because I was, so at that time, when I had to get up from my bed, my grandmother had to lift me up. Okay. And I was totally devastated. Relationships were also in pretty much limbo. Financially, I was at a point in my life where I wondered, am I doing the right thing? Fast forward a few years. Today, I am trained to be a coach on a healing martial art. I have helped thousands of people transform their relationships, their finances, and achieve deep emotional peace. It's not unusual for me to get calls or messages from people saying, Sir, today, for the first time in 15 years, my husband has gifted me something. This has never happened earlier. And when it comes to money, let me tell you what happened. In 2019, I wasn't sure where I was going. But if I look at my financials for the previous year, I made 40 times of what I had made in 2019. The reason I'm telling you this is not to explain that I could do it. But the reason I'm telling you this is because you can do it too. So, how many of you feel that this is really inspiring what can happen if you just work on yourself? And how many of you are excited to have this in your life? If that's you, type me in the chat box. Thank you. All right. Let me just get you the PPT. So now the first question you would get is, what exactly is an inner child? Okay. So if you look at the technical definition of it, it's quite, it can look very, very, okay. So it goes this way. It's like a metaphoric representation of locked up emotions at a very young age. Okay. Heavily charged emotions that did not get closure. But when I read something like this, it really doesn't explain anything. So let me give you an example. Suppose a 4-year-old girl shouts because something went wrong. Okay. Or she laughs loudly. and her father or her mother tell her, girls don't laugh this way, or girls don't really uh, shout. This is not what is expected of a woman. It would be it would not be unusual for this girl when she grows up to hesitate to be herself. It will not be unusual for this girl to have repressed emotions. And it would be absolutely not unusual for this lady to have blood pressure issues. Let's take a different example. For instance, a boy is playing when he's young, say 3, 4 years of age, playing with a vase, and he breaks it, and suddenly, instead of his mother telling him it's okay, it's just a vase, etc., she comes and scolds him or maybe hits him also because he's careless. And then when he starts crying, the message that comes across from mom is, boys don't cry. Now, this can really break people. Okay. And such emotions can cause a lot of damage, much more than we usually imagine it does. Okay. So let me give you a few more examples of this. Let me just put up some questions here, and these will help you introspect. Okay. How many of you feel that you would be left out because of some reason of or the other? Or you feel so just answer these questions in your head. You don't need to write them in the chat box. Okay. Do you hate being alone? Keep attracting emotionally unavailable people. Are you afraid of being hurt? You feel insecure and you feel like you need a lot of validation? Or do you just not feel safe around people? Or you attract people who don't feel safe around you? Okay. Do you feel sorry or bad often? Do you like not to ask for things even if you know you deserve these things? Okay. Do you use guilt to manipulate people? Are you afraid of setting boundaries? Do you attract people who keep making you feel guilty? You struggle to let go of stuff. Is it pretty much impossible for you to say no? Are you afraid of being vulnerable? Do you attract people who do not appreciate you? If you said yes to any of these questions, you may just think it is one of those things that is your habits. But you know what? Each of these things are linked to a deep rooted wound in childhood. For instance, somebody who feels abandoned hates being alone, fears being left. Somebody who has a neglect wound, okay, basically was neglected in childhood, has low self-worth, can get angry very easily, struggles to say no, is afraid, yeah, so is afraid of being vulnerable. Somebody who has trust issues is afraid to be hurt, doesn't feel safe. Somebody who has a guilt wound, which means they were made to feel sorry in childhood for very small things. Okay. Doesn't like to ask for things because if they ask for things, they are taking something which does not belong to them or they don't deserve according to them, including food. They're afraid to set boundaries because they will upset people. And they will keep attracting people who make them feel guilty. You know, they'll keep attracting people who make them feel guilty because they don't set healthy boundaries. People who love to abuse boundaries are attracted to them. Okay. All of these one way or another, are deeply rooted in the psyche. And the process of healing it is what we called inner child healing. So, how many of you are feeling fascinated by what you just heard? Type me if that's you. Some of you are asking, is it possible to experience all four? Oh, let me tell you something. Most of us would have experienced all of these in varying degrees. Okay. Some of us might have just experienced a few of these things, others might have experienced many or most of them. The degrees vary, but all of us feel a little bit of here and there emotions being off the mark. Okay. So now, before I go further, I just want to explain to you the flow of the session. Okay. Yeah. So, flow of the classes. These are the old dates. I'm just changing them to the new one. So today we are going to be focusing on understanding what is our inner child, or what is inner child healing as such. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to be working on what we call our mother wound, or basically it is the crack in our feminine energy. Now, whenever there is a crack in our feminine energy, basically to do with our primary caretaker, what happens is that we don't feel that there is unconditional love anywhere in the world. But when you heal this, it's as if you are the same, but the whole world around you changed. And that's actually because you changed. On day 3, which is the 24th, we'll be working on unearthing what our father wounds are. And these wounds directly are related to a feeling of safety, being able to attract love and abundance. And for many of us, our issues with respect to romantic relationships are directly related to our masculine energy cracks or wounds. On day 4, which is Thursday, we are going to be having 2 sessions. The first session is going to be at 7 p.m., which is 25th May. We have 2 sessions. 25th May, 7 p.m. session. We'll be focusing on how can we care for our inner child. And 25th May, Thursday, 9 p.m. is going to be the most important session of all the classes. Okay. This is an exclusive session. Thursday's 9 p.m. session. There are going to be limited seats. It's a free session. You'll have to register for it separately. And those who attend and stay till the end of the class today, and those who attend and stay tomorrow till the end of the class, are going to get precedence in being selected for Thursday's 9 p.m. session. Okay. All right. So the registrations for Thursday's free exclusive 9 p.m. session with limited seats are going to happen tomorrow. Those who stay till the end of the class today and tomorrow are going to get preference. I'm repeating myself. There are going to be no recordings of Thursday's 9 p.m. session. Okay. So some of you, I think, have not joined the WhatsApp group yet. I'm just sharing the link to the WhatsApp group. So that if there is any announcement which is not sent to everyone personally, you can get it there. Yeah, I've shared the WhatsApp group link in the chat. Okay, great. All right. So now that's the flow of the sessions. And yes, on Friday, we'll be closing the class. So now let's talk about something called the mother wound. So let's say somebody had a mother who was critical and unapproving of them. This could directly lead with having a loud inner critic and having a fear of judgment. In relationships, this can have a direct impact. I don't need to explain how, but this, can you guess how it can affect other parts of life too? So, for instance, if somebody is afraid of judgment and they're an entrepreneur, what do you think will happen? They will be afraid to experiment because they are afraid that the audience will reject them. This will directly influence their dreams and the money that they have in their pocket. This is not just a childhood issue. Calling it a childhood issue, what we do is trivialize the impact it is having. In fact, this is the most important and most powerful healing that you can do for yourself if you heal what is there in childhood. So we'll be starting this process of healing the mother wound in tomorrow's session. Okay. Now, similarly, let's say someone has a father who was not approving, not predictable, not emotional, not present. This would lead to them being people pleasing or being codependent. Now, what do you think happens when someone is people pleasing in their relationships? Suppose if someone is people pleasing in their relationships, at the workplace, they are not trusted. They are trusted to be good yes men, but they are never trusted to be good leaders because nobody knows what their opinion is. Even they don't know because they don't have an opinion themselves. Or at least they don't ever voice it or lie about it, just because the other person will feel bad. And this directly affects their abundance. Also, in relationships, these people will be seen as hollow. Or they'll always be afraid that the other person will leave them and abandon them, which is why they will never be fully in the relationship. Are you guys vibing with what you're just hearing? Have you experienced this either in yourself or in someone who's very important to you? Yes. So we'll be working on these masculine energy cracks day after tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I think that's enough theory for one day. Let's experience some healing now. Okay. So I'm going to give some special instructions. This is before getting into the meditation. It's important for you to know this. Okay. First, if you're on alcohol, if you've just had alcohol, you're drunk, don't do the meditation. If you're driving, don't do the meditation. Don't do this process. If you're epileptic, not for you. If you're on psychiatric medication right now, kindly skip the process that we're just going to do. And if you're addicted to recreational drugs and you've had one in the last 72 hours, please skip it. Okay. Otherwise, you're good to go. A standard instruction here is simple. You have to be responsible for yourself. So if you feel uncomfortable, it's always okay to pause the process. Don't worry about, hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable, but if I open my eyes, what will happen? No. If you're feeling really uncomfortable, you can always pause. Okay. We're in a safe space and you're fully in control, even if you think you're not. Okay. Just remember that. All right. So I'm just going to get some music as we start the meditation. Okay. Great. Sandeep, how is the volume of the music?
We're good. It's fine.
All right. I want you all to close your eyes now and just relax. Hands off the chat box. Sit in a relaxing position. Do not lie down. Breathe and relax. Slowly and gently, we are going to be working on releasing all the resistance that you carry within. We are now going to go back in time your past experiences are entering the here and now in your mind's recollection. You are totally safe and in charge as you travel back into your own personal history to bring comfort, healing, and reassurance to your younger self. You can now remember a time from your childhood when you needed help, comfort, and love. It might be a time when you felt deeply hurt, traumatized, or afraid, or a time when you were alone and felt that you had no one to turn to. As the adult of today, travel back in time to that situation calmly, confidently, and look for that child. When you find the child that was you, slowly pay attention to the details. Notice the house, the building. If you're indoors, or the surroundings, the plants, the people, the weather if you're outdoors. Remember, you are yourself the present day adult in this exercise. You're not becoming the child, you are observing the child. If you have trouble seeing an image of yourself, of your younger self, allow the child to reveal itself to you when it is ready. If there is an adult in the memory who is abusive, critical, or hurting the child in some way, turn your attention to that adult with no aggression. Just pure power of right and good. Approach that adult. Then hold open your palm towards them and say, "Stop. No more. You're wrong. You have to go now." Then, as if there were a force field emanating from your hand, move that person away from the child and keep moving them until they're completely gone from the scene. If you are having difficulty, don't worry, it will happen. And once it's done, return to the hurt, frightened child. The child might be afraid of you, or frozen or numb. That's okay. If the child seems afraid or disconnected in any way, just say, "I know you don't trust me yet. I'm here. I'm not going to leave you. Anything you feel is okay with me." Be patient and hold your position at a distance that seems comfortable to the child. And just like a real child, your inner child will open up to you when it is clear that you're going to be steady and stay present and not abandon it. When it feels right to you, take the child in your arms or hold them softly upon your chest. Or if it feels better, sit to the sides, the child's side, or hold their hands and look into their eyes. Once you have made some kind of positive physical connection with a child, say these words to the child directly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're good. You were just a child doing what children do. I love you exactly like you are, and I will never leave you. If this message is really getting through, you will see this child relax and feel the relaxation in your own body. Continue till you feel a comfortable connection between you and the child. And now take the child to a safe, healing space. This can be imaginary or can be an actual place from your memories. If the memory you're working with involves being touched inappropriately, such as physical or sexual abuse, you might want to give the child a cleansing bath to let go of any feelings that feel uncomfortable. Gently cleanse the child's body in all places they feel hurt, tending to their wounds. Hold the child in your arms. Tenderly caress and nurture this precious, wounded child. And when this feels complete, you're ready to transition. Bring the child into the present moment with you, wherever you are right now. If that doesn't feel safe or you're not quite ready, you can just leave the child in this healing space for a while. And when the child is ready, bring it to the present moment. Feel their small, warm body in your arms. And allow the child to merge into you as if it were moving into your heart. Because that is where indeed your inner child lives. And now, as you look back at the memory where the child was hurt, alone, or abused, notice that the place is empty. The child is no longer stuck there. The child is with you now in a safe place where they belong. If your present environment is safe, a loving place, then show the child around saying, "This is your home now. I'm glad you are with me. You come first. I will make sure your needs are met before I focus on others." As you hold and welcome your inner child, now remember that you are this child, but you are also your adult self. You're vulnerable, innocent, open, creative, and spontaneous, but at the same time responsible, loving, caring, and capable as an adult. You have everything you need in order to be whole and complete as we begin this journey. And now, slowly and gently, you can bring your awareness back to the room. And open your eyes. How many of you absolutely loved this experience? Type LI if you loved it. Right? So we will continue this journey tomorrow. And yes, tomorrow we'll also have the registrations for Thursday's free exclusive session, which is on Thursday 9 p.m. It will have no recordings. So ensure you attend tomorrow and stay from the beginning till the end. I'm sharing the WhatsApp group link again here in case you just joined or missed it. All right. Same Zoom link as today will work tomorrow. See you all at 9 p.m. tomorrow.